So welcome again. Hope you had a restful break. What I'm going to share with you is actually the functionality of a site called, and tools, of course, that have been developed, a platform that has been developed by people that are working on digital humanities. And this platform is called Voyant Tools. I hope you can see the address here is voyant-tools.org. Voyant Tools is one of the many platforms and tools available for working with text and using advanced computational methods to analyze text and extract information from them. Now, I chose Voyant Tools because I think it's the most user-friendly interface, has a very extensive list of functionalities, and also focuses on visualization, text visualization. So making the text to speak for itself. That's why, if you can see in the website, says Voyant, see through your text, right? So it's a visualization-based approach to text analysis. Now, this is the very basic interface. You can see it's very easy. It reminds a little bit of the Google. And you can do three things in this interface. You can put here a URL. You can copy-paste a URL. And the Voyant Tools will go to the site you have just put there and crawl the text so it can create a corpus from a web interface. And that sometimes is very useful. You don't have to go by the HTML pages and maybe use crawlers or try by yourself to copy-paste things. It can go there, has a very specific analysis toolbox that actually throws away all the images, all the links, and keeps only the text, and you can analyze the text later. So this is the first thing you can do. The other thing you can do here in this field is actually you can paste the full text. You can copy and paste there. But there are other two options that are really important. I think the most useful one is the upload. So if I click here, as you can see, I have a number of options. I can go to my local folder in my CD or my hard disk or my USB drive, whatever, even my Dropbox, as you can see here, a network drive. And I can take here any text I want or thousands of texts, and this is the most important stuff. And I can just open and upload them. So that's simple. You just have a directory full of texts and you want to analyze. You just go through the upload button and you upload whatever you like. And Voyant Tools comes also with some pre-configured, pre-uploaded corpora. And if I click here, open, I have this option here where I can actually select one of these two well-known corpora. So there are all the William Shakespeare plays, and there is also all the novels of Jane Austen. I will pick the Shakespeare plays because I think it's a very creative and very interesting selection of texts. And I just click open. And here is my main panel of analysis tools. And this is a very intuitive user interface, as you can see, because there are 5 small parts of the screens, 5 small sub-screens. And I can give you a tour from the left to the right. Here, you can see the name of the tool. It's called Cyrus. But what you see here is a very well-known word cloud. And word clouds have been used quite intensively the last years for giving you a very good idea about what is the most frequency vocabulary, the most frequent words used in a text or in a corpus. And you can see here that there are a lot of options you can do here, but the most important switch you can use is this one. So if I scroll it on my left, I choose how many words they will be displayed in this window. And if I can go here, for example, I can go to 200 words. The word cloud changes. So you have a word cloud here, and you have also the ability to filter this word cloud. So if I can go here back, yeah, and I hover my mouse over this bar, you can see there are 1, 2, 3 buttons there. If I click here, these are a number of options I have for these specific tools. Now, Voyant Tools come with a predefined stop word list. Stop word lists are being used in order to filter out the very frequent words that most of the times we don't really want to include in our analysis. So these are function words like articles, prepositions, conjunctions, particles, and etc. But you can edit this list. And instead of using the function words, you can put there whatever list you want. You may have a very specific thematic word list that you don't want to see it in your word cloud. You can go there. It's that simple. You edit the list. You can see here there are words, and you can either add new words or just delete and put your own list there. And there are also available white lists. White list is the opposite stuff. So you put there specific words, only the words you want to see. And you can have the same approach to the word cloud. Now, what can you do in the word cloud? You can actually see what Shakespeare is talking about over the last 40 years that he wrote these plays. And you can see the king, lord, good, shall, love. Interesting, quite well-known, I would say, Henry, quite well-known Shakespearean words. And if I click on the king, for example, automatically everything changes, and I go directly on the right side of the screen. And you see here, this is the frequency of the word king. And down here on the x-axis, you can see the different place of the Shakespeare. And it's obvious, if you can see here, that the king is being a topic, a relevant word, a thematic word in some place of the Shakespeare, not all of them. If you can see here, for example, the 12th Night, Troilus and Cressida, it's not, king is not a part of the plot. But here, for example, King Henry VI, of course, it's being used quite often. King Henry VI the same, King Richard III, all of these plays talk a lot about kings in general. Now, I can go either interactively and click whatever word I want from the word cloud. Let's say, for example, I click the word love. And you can see here my plot interactively changes. And now I have the plot, the frequency plot of the word love. And again, there are specific plays that love is really important. For example, the Two Gentlemen play, or here, the Midsummer Night's Dream, and Here As You Like It. So there are specific plays of the Shakespeare that love is really important. Others are not that discussing that concept. Now, this is one way to check the frequency of any word, actually, in your corpus. The other one is go directly here. There's a field, open field here. And you can type here any word you like. So if I type love, appears here, and the number on your right side is the frequency of this word. So love appears 1,956 times in the Shakespearean canon. And most of the times, all we people who are working on digital humanities want to sometimes compare things or see how they co-evolve. So I would say that Shakespeare always plays with the idea of love and death. So it would be nice to check how death and love are evolving in terms of frequency. Okay, and here we have two graphs. Let me just make it a single big screen so you can see the patterns more easily. Great. So what you see here is the frequency of love, the blue line, and the frequency of death with green line. I don't know if you can catch some regularities here, but I can help you on that and decompose this frequency pattern. So whenever you have whenever you see a frequency uprise of love, you see a valley of death, and goes on like this. You see here, love is being used quite frequently, death not so much. But there are other, there is a contrasting, completely, I would say, complementary, contrastive use of love and death. So in texts that they're talking a lot of love, death is not appearing there. And in texts where here, for example, death is being used quite often and love is less. And you can see here how there's this nice interaction pattern between these very, very important parts of the Shakespearean play vocabulary. And imagine how you can actually do a nice conversation in advanced teaching classes about love and death and how Shakespeare used. And how you can do that, you could also not only make the students search for these patterns, but actually can go there on the lower right side of the screen and play with a concordancer. And let me again make it bigger, go to another window and see how you can use quite interestingly the concordancer. So I can write here any word I want on my lower left side. And let's say again, I put the word love and get all the concordance lines of the word love, which is quite a big concordance list. These are more or less 2,000 lines. But it's nice to see here how love is being used in the Shakespeare. And I can scroll down. I can actually click here on the right and have an alphabetical sorting of my right hand context. So you have right and have, love her, love him, love is, whatever. And you can actually let them search for specific contexts that love is being used in Shakespeare. Now going back,
sorry to interrupt you. It's wonderful. I'm impressed with this. So as Martina says here, this is a very useful and versatile tool both for researchers and language teaching practitioners, and for language learners, of course. Wow, this is really nice.
I'm really glad you like it, and I always had it in mind that it might be really useful for people who want to do some stuff with language analysis and make the students explorers, right?
You opened new horizons to us. Absolutely.
So nice, so nice to hear.
Sorry to interrupt, but I
it's interactive presentation. Please feel free to.
And you know this, we are also researching for different tools when we want to find the different uses of a word. So instead of just saying what a word means, we try to show different examples to our students so they can make out this the meaning. And this is the most I don't know, it's really a creative process because they are thinking, they are trying to understand through the context, through the context, and this is the most important thing. And this tool is really amazing, and thank you so much.
It's really, I thought I selected this because it's the easiest you can use, and you can use it right now. I mean, you don't need a very special training. It's really intuitive in the interface, and what you can do with the text there. So I think it's a good choice for people who are not really keen on technological stuff to start working, analyzing text, and make the students, as I told you before, investigators, textual investigators, textual researchers.
I think it feels well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It always feels well to have this feeling of researching and exploring, and wow, and really, really nice.
So another idea is, instead of make them search the concordance lines of love or whatever word, you can actually use a visual collocation analysis tools that Voyant tool has. It's called links. I can click on that, and here I have. I will again make it bigger so we can see it better. And this tool actually. I will clear the screen. I will put any word. As I told you, I think love is a very important Shakespearean word. So I click here, and I can see the 4 most frequent collocates of love. So it's interesting to know about love, to say about love, and to make love. That's a very, very interesting perspective. But what we can do also is actually change the context of the law. So if I can just give me a second so I can maximize the window. Okay, it is this funny stuff here that I cannot. Okay, I will just have to play a little bit with. I have my Zoom bar hovering over the
yes.
If you click on the Zoom bar, hold it, you can move it.
Oh
anywhere
yeah,
on the screen.
Thank you, Miguel.
Yes.
Very useful. So here I can change the context, the collocation window, and if you can see here, I have a new collocation now, and love is being related with other words that are far away from the actual word. Now, what I can do also is put here another word like king. Okay, we have the standard collocation. We expected that, and various related words. And we can put 2 words and see their collocations if they are related. For example, love, sorry, not king. Love is the one. Okay, and death, as I told you before, would be the other one. Okay. And you can see here, for example, that love and death, love is being related to the king, to the no, the word no, but king also is related to another network of words. And if you have a specific word pairs that you want to analyze, you can actually play with this tool so you can understand what sort of interactions, semantic interactions appear in your text. So Hamlet here, for example, as you can see, is related to some other, and you can, of course, expand the network of the words, and you can make quite intuitive and very, very deep analysis of how a word is being used and what context is being used around a specific word you want to analyze. So this is a visual collocation analysis tool is very straightforward. But there are another option you can use also. We have here in the corpus tool, you can actually see the collocates of in terms of a table. And if I search here a specific word, let's say king, for example, I get the most frequent collocates. So the most frequent is King Henry, King Richard, King IV, King Sean, Act, Edward. So there are names most of the times. Now, if I put another word like time, let's say time, another interesting concept for Shakespeare. Come, time will come, probably, time, day, lard, night, king, place, away, speak, and things like that. And let's put other more qualitative word like good. What would be the collocates of good? So there's a lord always that's good, right? The most frequent collocate is lord and sir and knight and king and master. All these are actually collocates of good. And man, right? And lady, less frequent though. And sweet. And this is all about semantic prosodies and how specific words are being used in this specific corpus. And I can imagine quite a lot of interesting tasks you can assign to your students. So you can search, for example, a corpus of a specific author and the corpus of another author and see the same word, how different collocations has. Because as you know, literature uses very creatively the language and the words, and you can actually analyze in depth all these collocations and these semantic prosodies. Now, another tool I want to share with you is called bubbles. Okay. No, sorry, not bubbles. It will take ages. It's bubble lines. Yeah.
I will comment as well. I'm thinking loudly. I want to tell you. So one thing that I have seen here that I haven't seen so far, because I'm teaching also this. I'm doing this training course at the Hellenic Open University, and we are working on corpora. But I haven't seen so far a platform that can have all these visualization tools. And this is really, it's not a simple platform. It has a big variety of tools, and all these tools that are also offering this, the ability to visualize, it is really very, very helpful for us.
Exactly. It's a platform, it's a toolbox actually that you can do quite a lot of things you couldn't do in most of the tools I have used actually. So just to give you an idea here, what is a bubble line and why it's useful. So it gives you a visual dimension of the novel, of the play. So let's go for the Romeo and Juliet, which is, we all know how a very important play. So Romeo and Juliet starts here and ends here. So the x-axis represents the start and the end of the novel in terms of words, right? The first word is on your left, the last word is on your right. And this is the evolution of the novel. And what we have asked the tool to do is to give us the love and the death frequencies represented as bubbles. So you can see here that at maybe at the first sentences or pages, you can see that love has appeared once and death has appeared twice, even from the start of this play. Here, later, we have a death occurrence, again here, but here we have 14 occurrences of love. And you can see here that the play, more or less, the Romeo and Juliet, is all about the love, and things are becoming messy at the end. So death is coming really close. And you can see here that the end of Romeo and Juliet is actually an ode to the death, actually. And there are other, for example, plays like the Henry VI, which is speaking about the death all the time, right? Or there are other more optimistic plays like the Love's Labour's Lost, which is actually all about love. And you can scroll down. This is the whole canon of Shakespeare, and you can see very easily, visually, you can recognize which words, which plays are more directed to love, more directed to death. What's the interplay of these words inside the plot of this text? And I think you can do quite a lot of interesting stuff, because I just stuck now to these two words. You can put whatever you like here, and you can see, and your own corpus, by the way. You can use your own corpus or the corpus, the essays of your own students. You can even ask them to upload their own essays and do a peer analysis on their own scripts and see why they're repeating specific words and why it's not good, why the collocations are not correct. Various aspects. I mean, only the sky is the limit of what you can do. You just need imagination. Okay. And of course, there are many tools available. I'm just giving you a very, very short and very brief presentation of these tools. Here, as you can see, there are corpus tools. There are all of these. You can go and play with every one of these. There are document tools that are being used. And the major sample unit is the document, not they're not doing analysis on inside the document. They're using documents as sample units. They have these wonderful visualizations tools. I have given you a short idea of what this. And there are grid tools. Grid tools are actually tables of data that can be extracted, quantitative information from the text, the terms frequency, the collocates frequency, correlations of various terms, phrases, which is the most frequent engrams, word engrams of the text. Just to give you an example. Okay, here are the some of the most frequent phrases that have been automatically extracted from the text, and these are in decreasing frequency. So in increasing length. Sorry. So there are 2 grams, as we say, 2 word engrams. That is YAF 2, YAF that, and you can scroll down and you can see here as very frequent 2 grams are being used in the text. You can see quite a lot of very fossilized linguistic usage in the Shakespearean plays, generals, and you can scroll down there, all the available engrams of the text here. Another thing I wanted to show you, and I will wrap it up after this, is the another visualization. It's useful again for the students to analyze the syntactic patterns of the words. So I use to utilize. Give me a sec. The word tree. Yeah. Let me just. Make it smaller. So you have a word that you are looking for. Let's say, let's search for a verb, make. Great. And you can see in the Shakespeare, of course, how make is being related with words on your left and on your right. So the most frequent is and make, will make, did make, and make us, make a, make that. Of course, you can start widening the scope, so you can see the full range of the context on your left and on your right, and you can expand this so you can go further and analyze better the syntactic patterns of the words, of the verbs, most probably inside the text, and you can do that quite easily visually, not doing that in a more grammar style way. So it could be really interesting, and kids will never get rid of it. They will really like that. Yeah, I think I can stop here if Maria is okay. I give you a bird's eye overview of this tool. There are so many things you can do more than that. But I think I gave you some starting seeds so you can start, go there, experiment with your own texts, and get inspired other students.